before Alexandria and the Greeks leaving their people and a little bit of mixing. Even when I was in Egypt, I could tell the people from southern Egypt look just like Sudanese. They have a little more wavier hair, but they black as tar, and they got a little straight hair. Anyway, I had to get back on the subject. Deen AlMalik. They didn't have a nationalist revolution in Egypt. That's the underlying stuff that's going on. And people didn't forget about Joseph because he was a nice guy. He helped everybody, you know, and all that. But later on, the Yahud, according to the Tafsir, they then took over the cattle industry. It was very important in Egypt and all of that stuff, you know. And so now, people is mad. 400 years or so done passed by. That's a long time. And they didn't forget about Yusuf. But in the meantime, there's a certain statement about Yusuf, and we'll get back to that. Remember when they sent for Yusuf's family, all of them came, and Yusuf went to his brother, his full-blooded brother, and said, now there's a lot of stuff going to happen. Don't worry about it. I'm your brother. Yeah, hell, we look alike. They're doggone the same. I eat my hands. You know, wait, hands, there, shoot, feet, look at you. You know, of course you're my brother. He probably don't have to argue with him much. He said, now it's going to be a few things go on, so don't panic. So remember when they go, Yusuf don't feel comfortable sending his brother back with these guys before they know what's going on. Right? So some kind of way, the thing pop up in his brother's, the beaker, the king, and all that. And so he couldn't keep him. This is where Deen AlMalik comes in, the law of the king. Yusuf is a prophet. That's clear by now. He is a prophet. He's there to get over the storehouses. And so Deen AlMalik means the way, the method, the law of the king. So he haven't fully established no Islam yet, but he as a religious personality, let's call him a prophet, what he is, he cannot use that term. He cannot use on that point the king's law. Because if you done stole something by the king's law, well, that's about it for you. So then the conversation goes to the brothers. Well, what does your law say? The law says now they're using the Jewish law. If it was found in his thing, then, you know, we don't know what happened. This is all we know. And that's all they know. So he uses that. He don't use Deen AlMalik because he's a prophet. Okay. I don't know. I'm going to go a long way around. But I'm just going to read something to give you a little idea about some of the things that we deal with here. And this is from 1990. Because I read all of these. I read Maulana Maududi during Ramadan 3 times. And I copied different things twice. So it says, the use of the words with whom we have found our property instead of the word thief is very significant. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam avoided the use of the word thief for his brother because he was not really a thief. This is called tawriyat. That is, to put a cover over a reality or to hide a reality. And with certain conditions and limitations. It may be practiced not to gain any selfish end, but to ward off some evil or to protect and save an oppressed person from some oppressor, provided that no other course might have been left except saying something against the trust of having to resort to a deceitful device. I could go on all along. What we've been dealing with here, fiqh of clarification, fiqh of this, right? You know, the fiqh of double dealing, the fiqh of double reverse, right? The fiqh of strategic manipulation. All of those are things that we have adjusted. This is 1990. We had already been here a year. I was living out in Manassas, out at Bahram. That was before. We bought the place over there on 8th Street in 1990. We opened up the first day of Ramadan in 91. So we had all that time to study and study. We went through a period of writing articles, so we had to research and we had to write, and we had to do all of those things. So this has all been just a wonderful experience. So, in fact, in the Sunni traditions, that you can use Taqiyya, and a certain, in the Quran, it talks about you can take your homeboy and give him security until you can take him to a place of safety. So you can guard and protect even a non-believer, right? Till you can take him to a place of safety, till he can hear the word of Allah. And if you remember that, anyway. So we've been busy here. It ain't no surprises. The only surprise is that America would have came around and did right. That would have been a shock. Now what are we going to do? Let's see. Right? Well, what are we going to do now that America is going to do right? Well, that would have been preferred, but America didn't do right. Not only America didn't do right, none of the American. Now, can you imagine the people that's with Boss Man during this period? And the stuff that Boss Man is going through, and they still with him? That's unbelievable. And you have to understand sometime, well, you're black, so you're different. They're not going to listen to you. Whoever it was in the Quran, whatever tribe the poor messenger was from, they gave him the same thing, right? Hey, man, they told one of them, all of that is right and good, but if we followed that solid stuff, we would be poor and crazy. We would be, good God Almighty, man, if we paid attention to that, if we used true weights and measures, a pound is a pound, 454 grams or 453 and a half, something like that. Hey, man, we would be, the way they looked at it, they would do good, but they didn't look at it like that. They thought we have to cheat. If we didn't cheat, we wouldn't have nothing. That's the way America is right now. And it comes to a time when you reach a position that, well, look like boss man is not going to listen. And people with boss man, they got, if they can't pay, if that don't get them, and you've been sitting there waving that flag for 50 years, that's okay. We're going to a different, and that's technically what we're doing. We'll go through that at another time, but we're moving to another level. That's all. We expected all this stuff to happen, but I didn't expect for the people to be sitting on the fender, no C1, whatever they call them, C-135 or something. Just hanging to the land, yeah. A jet it's got to get up to 85 or 100 to get off, probably 100 to get off the ground. So when you fall off of that boy, you're going to glide for about 2-3 seconds before hitting the ground at 100 miles an hour, and then you done got up off the ground and ain't nothing but rocks there. It ain't the runway no more. That'd be bad enough. You get skinned up, pretty bad. That's how people wanted to get out of there. And the world is looking at it. You know what I mean? I guess we pay attention to the rest of the news from Iran, the news from Britain. The parliament in Britain, they cussing and you stupid MF, you ain't got no more sense than that. You dumb son of a gun. That's the way all the Europeans is. You can't even leave the place without it exploding. You can't just take it easy or look. You ain't got enough sense. That's the way boss man look. You ain't got enough sense to evacuate the place, to have an evacuation program. And we've been with you. Do you know how dumb you look? Because see, the British Parliament, all the people that was against this, all of them come out. Look at your home, that boy, and they laugh, they rolling. And the world is embarrassed. The world is embarrassed, and then look at how we look, our people. Our people, Lebanon right now is going through a thing with gas prices and all that, and it's unbelievable. So, walaikum salam. So, but they holding on. You look at all our people. They're going through unbelievable stuff. And they ain't batting an eye. And it don't look like they're not prepared to go anywhere, and they don't look like they're going nowhere. And the Islamic Republic, where's everybody up there? Mazar Sharif, they done opened 9 or 10 camps already. So the people are coming across. Who's it coming off? The educated people and the ones that's being double-crossed by Sam. They got to go. And when I was in Iran, it was 3 million, it was 5 million refugees in the old days. 2 million was in Pakistan. In Pakistan, they just sat in the refugee camps in Peshawar. In Iran, they all went to school. They got top education. That was 40 years ago. There's a whole Afghan, and they all come from Shias. We'd see them every time we went to Mashhad, because that's up near Russia, That's up near where they from, too. And they got, they didn't go to school in Pakistan. They didn't do nothing. They got the best education. When you saw workers digging in the street in Tehran, it was all Afghans. The Iranians was messing with the war, and they were like Mexicans that come over here and do all the work, and they love it, and they appreciate it, right? That's the crew they got, been in Iran 40 years now. Now they got another crew. Now they got another crew coming, okay, that didn't go back. Okay, 800,000 of them went back. But if you was from Afghanistan and you done got a top flight education, a college degree, half of the women that's in universities, not half of them, but a large percentage of them are Afghan women that got, well, they're Iranian now. They've been there. They look the same. They talk the same. They already dug in. Now, but they down with it. So if you get a few hotheads always want to take off hijab and stand up and cuss everybody out,